Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that there were other shows that Jim Henson worked on besides Sesame Street and The Muppet Show? Hey everyone, this is Rabbitearsblog and welcome to another one of my top list series. So today's top list I'll be doing today is my top 7 most obscure Jim Henson projects. And before I get into this, here are a few words from the channel. Alright everybody, it's time to get on the social media train. Want to chat with me in 100 words or less? Then check out my Twitter account. Want to talk about movies, TV shows, and video games within the group? Then check out my Facebook account. Want to check out some of my ultra cool fan art? Then check out my DeviantArt page. Want to get the lowdown on everything that's happening on this channel? Then check all of the above. And now, we return to our regularly scheduled program. So when we think about Jim Henson, we think about shows like Sesame Street, The Muppet Show, and even Fraggle Rock. But did you know that the late Jim Henson had also created some other shows and movies that were not that well known to the public? Well, this is what this video is all about. In this video, I'll be listing my top 7 most obscure properties that Jim Henson has ever worked on, and the goal of this video is to basically give attention to these obscure projects that Jim Henson has worked on, and just see what the late Jim Henson was capable of doing besides doing Sesame Street and The Muppets. So before I go into this list, here are a few things that you guys should know. First, this list is based off of my personal opinion, so there might be some shows in this list that you guys might not agree with or that you guys might not think is that obscure. So let me know in the comments down below what other obscure shows that were created by Jim Henson that I might have missed out on. And second, all the shows on this list are shows or movies that were made by Jim Henson himself. So any shows or movies that doesn't have Jim Henson's involvement in it doesn't really count in this list. However, if you guys do want me to make a list about the most obscure properties from the Jim Henson Company that doesn't have Jim Henson's involvement in it, then please let me know in the comments down below. And now let's get started with this list. So Fraggle Rock, the animated series, is, you guessed it, an animated series that's based off the TV series Fraggle Rock. Now the reason why this particular TV series is so low on the list is because it's based off of Fraggle Rock. And as I mentioned before, Fraggle Rock is probably one of Jim Henson's most well-known TV shows. And I even watched the show when I was younger. I remember really enjoying the show when I used to rent it from the library when I was younger. And I just love all the characters in the show and the colorful world that they live in. And so when I found out that they actually made an animated series about Fraggle Rock, I was like thinking to myself, why would you make an animated series about Fraggle Rock? I mean, don't we already have a live action TV series that's actually geared towards children? Like, I can understand if Fraggle Rock itself was a show that was geared towards adults and they decided to make an animated series out of it to make it more geared towards kids. But the thing is, the original Fraggle Rock series, which was in live action, was actually geared towards kids. And that's probably why the show didn't run that long, or a lot of people have never heard about it, despite the fact that Fraggle Rock is a very well-known property from Jim Henson. So yeah, at the end of the day, I was thinking to myself, why does this animated series exist exactly? But yeah, I've never seen the animated series of Fraggle Rock. I have seen the original live action series, and I am curious to know if this animated series is actually that good or not. So if you guys have seen the animated series of Fraggle Rock, please let me know in the comments down below if it was a good series or if it was a bad series. So the Storyteller was a TV series where the late John Hurt was the host of the show, and basically this TV series is all about the storyteller retelling these stories that are based off of famous folk tales and fairy tales to the audience, and that's basically what this series is all about. Now, this was a series that I'd never heard of growing up. Like, the only Jim Henson properties I knew of when I was growing up was Sesame Street and The Muppet Show. So I never knew that Jim Henson actually made a TV series about this storyteller telling the audience about all these famous folk tales and fairy tales. And this seems like a show that would be right up my alley because I'm a huge folk tales and fairy tales fan. And the fact that I missed this show as a kid has really upset me because I love fairy tales and folk tales. And I'm upset that I wasn't able to watch this show. But hopefully I'll be able to get around to watching the show and just seeing what kind of fairy tales and folk tales they have in this TV series. So Sam and Friends is about this young kid named Sam who basically imagines himself into this imaginary world, and one of his friends includes a lizard named Kermit, who will later on evolve into Kermit the Frog that we all know and love, and that's basically what the series is all about. So this is the first time I actually heard about Sam and Friends, and this is actually Jim Henson's very first TV series. It's not Sesame Street or The Muppet Show like I originally thought, and I'm actually surprised to hear that Sam and Friends is Jim Henson's very first TV series, and I am interested in seeing what this series is all about, especially since Kermit the Frog, or Kermit the Lizard as he's known in the series, actually makes an appearance in the series. So that means that Kermit the Frog has existed way before Sesame Street became a thing. So I am interested in seeing that and just seeing how Kermit the Frog has evolved as a character through that series. So Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas is about an otter named Emmet and his mom, who are both struggling with trying to make ends meet as they don't have a lot of money, and they're trying to get by with Ma doing a laundry business while Emmet is doing some odd jobs here or there. But one day they hear about a talent contest, and that the winner of the talent contest will win $50. And so both Emmet and Ma decide to enter the talent contest, and they decide to start a jug band with each other. Now, this was one of those specials that I remember having on one of my VHS tapes when I was little, but the VHS tape that this special was on was broken beyond repair, so I wasn't able to watch this movie for many years, and I still haven't rewatched this movie after so many years. But the fact that this particular special goes by unnoticed with a lot of Jim Henson fans is a little surprising, because this was a special that does show up on YouTube from time to time, but it's definitely a Christmas special that I need to rewatch again, or a Christmas special that I need to check out, since this Christmas special has a very interesting premise. And I do like the idea about how Emmet and his mother are trying to make ends meet for themselves, as you rarely see Christmas specials about two main characters struggling to make ends meet for themselves. So I am interested in rewatching this Christmas special down the line soon. So the Great Santa Claus Switch is about a monster named Cosmos Gan, who decides that he wants to kidnap Santa Claus so he could take over Christmas that year. And so he decides to go ahead and kidnap each of the Christmas elves one by one while trying to take over Santa Claus for Christmas. So this is a particular special I never heard of before until I watched some reviews about it on YouTube. And this is a special that I am interested in checking out, because the only Christmas specials I watched from Jim Henson when I was a kid was The Muppet Christmas and Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. So I never knew that Jim Henson had worked on some other Christmas specials. And this sounds like a really interesting Christmas special, because it's about Santa Claus being kidnapped and being switched by somebody else. And it does have a lot of the Nightmare Before Christmas vibes, which also involves the main character trying to kidnap Santa Claus and take his place during Christmas. So I am interested to see how this particular special goes, and just see how much of Jim Henson's influences is all over this particular Christmas special. So the Tale of the Bunny Picnic is an Easter special that's about a bunny named Bean Bunny who wants to help out with the preparations for the bunny picnic, but he's told that he's too small, so he decides to go off by himself. And it was then he meets up with the farmer's dog, who's trying to capture him and the bunnies. And so the rest of the special is spent on the bunnies trying to hide from the dog, or trying to prevent the dog from capturing them. Now, this was a Jim Henson special that I never heard of before in my life. And even though I watched quite a bit of Easter specials when I was growing up, I never seen this particular Easter special. And the fact that this Easter special is about this bunny who's trying to save the other bunnies from this dog is really interesting to me. And it does make me really curious about checking out this particular special out and see how good it is. But the plot itself is really interesting to me. And I can't believe that I never heard of this particular special from Jim Henson. So the Christmas toy is about a group of toys who come alive when the humans are away, but if the humans spotted them, that they'd be frozen in place forever. And one of the toys, Rupee the tiger, remembers that he was once the favorite toy of his owner, and he tries to become his owner's favorite toy again. But the problem here is that if Rugby's owner finds out that Rugby can walk and talk, then the tiger will be frozen in place forever. And so the other toys try to find the tiger and try to tell him the true meaning of Christmas before it's too late. Now, this is probably one of the most obscure Christmas specials I ever heard of from Jim Henson. Again, the only Christmas specials I've seen from Jim Henson were The Muppet Christmas and Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. So the fact that there was another Christmas special that's about a group of toys was really interesting to me. And the fact that this predated Toy Story by a full decade, where they have the toys come alive when the humans are away, but then they have to stay frozen in place when the humans are back into the room, was a really interesting premise to me. And it's something that I want to see unfold in the Christmas special itself. So this is definitely going to be a Christmas special that I'm going to be looking forward to watching during Christmas. So that's my top 7 most obscure Jim Henson properties. And I am surprised that I actually didn't know about any of these particular TV shows or specials. Like, most of them were Christmas specials or Easter specials. And I'm surprised that I wasn't able to watch any one of these. And then there's 2 on this list that are TV shows that I never watched. So I'm really glad that I actually took the time and look up some shows that Jim Henson had worked on. And I was quite surprised that there was a lot of obscure properties that he worked on that I never heard of before. So after doing this video, I'm definitely going to be watching all of these shows and see if they're any good. So that's my top 7 most obscure Jim Henson properties. And tell me in the comments down below, have you seen any of these movies or TV shows that Jim Henson worked on? Was there a movie or TV show on this list that you think wasn't that obscure? Or was there another obscure movie or TV show that was made by Jim Henson that you think I should have added to this list? Please let me know in the comments down below. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Rabbitearsblog, and I'll see you guys later.